To that I say, all right, all right, all right.
Goddamn right.
So yeah, basically, that just happened, and this is like one of my favorite. I know I said last week that last week's episode was one of my favorite Game of Thrones episodes of all time. This week's episode is also one of my favorite Game of Thrones episodes of all time. Now I want to quickly point out a couple of differences that I saw between last week's episode and this week's episode. I think last week's episode, the pacing wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow, it was just in that middle. And so what we got was roughly an hour or so, and it was some really great stuff. Some really great stuff, a lot of dialogue, and we got some battles at the end. Whereas this one, I think it is slightly shorter, but this one, I could definitely tell the pacing was so much faster. This is one of the most fast-paced Game of Thrones episodes I've ever seen. It went by like a flash. That last battle was actually about 20 minutes long, and it didn't feel like that at all. It was so well directed, so well edited, so it just felt so energetic and so in the moment. And I'll talk about that last battle in a bit. But let's talk about some of the stuff we learned and some of the stuff that happened other than the battle in this episode. First off, you know, you have Jaime and Bronn taking the gold back to King's Landing. Nothing too much going on there. And then we kind of, I believe, we cut to Cersei with the Iron Bank of Bravos guy who plays Mycroft in Sherlock, if you didn't know. And I have to say that Cersei's story, sort of arc in this season, has been absolutely amazing. But I feel like when they introduced this whole thing with the Iron Bank, it kind of turned me off. I don't think it's very interesting, it's kind of boring, and I don't love this whole subplot with the Iron Bank. But I do understand kind of why they're doing it, and it was just fine because it only took up about 5 minutes of the episode. So let's go next to Bran, who's having a nice conversation with Littlefinger, that manipulative snake. He gives Bran the dagger that he won off Tyrion, but he says he doesn't know where he got it from. You know, he's just a genuine snake. Bran and Mira have this really just dull and emotionless sort of farewell. Mira leaves, and Bran is just this completely emotionless douchebag who, even though I can understand he's seen a lot of things, he's very inconsiderate of other people's feelings. He's just a dick. I know he's useful, but he's a useful dick. And then we have Arya coming back to Winterfell, which is, other than the battle, is my favourite moment this entire episode. And I like how they did a callback to season 1, because if you don't remember, in season 1, when Arya was sort of like walking around King's Landing, she got lost. She went back to the Red Keep. There were these two guards. They didn't believe that she was Arya Stark. They didn't let her in, and she managed to find her way in. Just like here, you know, she kind of, the two guards don't really believe that she is Arya, and then she just kind of like sneaks off. She says to Sansa, you know, you need better guards, and I love that. And we'll talk about some of the Arya stuff just now, but I do love her reunion with Sansa. I thought that was very touching, you know, them both in front of Ned's sort of tombstone, and also her reunion with Bran, where Bran gives her the Valyrian steel dagger. Very nice. At least, you know, Bran's still a very kind and giving person, not just a complete emotionless douchebag like I just said. But by far my favourite Arya moment this episode is her fight with Brienne, which is just incredible. Now I feel like a lot of Game of Thrones sort of sword fights and, you know, one-on-one combat can sometimes be very meh, and sometimes can just be straight up bad. Like Brienne versus the Hound, I thought used way too much shaky cam, way too much over editing. I wasn't a fan of that fight. But this one actually reminded me in many ways of the Mountain versus the Viper, because, you know, you have a really small, fast character versus a very big, strong character. But unlike the Mountain versus the Viper, which I think utilizes a lot more wide shots and a lot less editing, this fight goes for slightly more close-up and relies a little bit more on cutting and editing. Of course there are wide shots, but I really liked sort of the close-upness that they gave. It kind of felt like a Bourne film almost, and I really appreciated that. And I just loved how cool Arya is now. And I love that when Brienne was like, "Who taught you that?" She said, "No one," because, you know, like, no one. And I just love how they close out that scene with her giving Littlefinger this massive fuck you death stare. That's just perfect. Now we're going to Jon and Daenerys. Not too much going on here, just a couple of conversations, and Jon and Daenerys both being inconsiderate and unnecessarily difficult. I mean, Daenerys should really just be concerned with saving Westeros instead of ruling it right now. And so the whole bend the knee thing really pisses me off. And also, Jon, if Daenerys really sort of is insisting, then just bend the fucking knee. I mean, it's not that hard. So both characters are being slightly stubborn, but it's fine because you know, they're gonna come together at the end anyway, hopefully. Also on that sort of side of the story, we have Jon meeting Theon for the first time since episode 1. Again, we have a lot of reunions this episode, and it kind of goes the way you'd expect. It's not anything too dramatic, you know, compared to Arya and Sansa, or Arya and Bran, or Sansa and Bran, but it is just kind of alright. Which now leads us to what is arguably the greatest battle scene in Game of Thrones history or in TV history. Now, I want to talk about Battle of the Bastards because people are obviously going to be comparing the two. You know, what are the differences? What do I prefer? You know, now Battle of the Bastards, when it came out, I feel like Battle of the Bastards is a milestone in television. Like, it is truly incredible. It is one of the most impressive action set pieces I've ever seen, not just in TV, but in movies, right? It is truly incredible. It's basically 40 minutes of just television gold. But I have to say that I think that I probably prefer this battle because of one very specific reason. Now, Battle of the Bastards is Jon Snow versus Ramsay, good versus evil. It's very clear whose side you're on, unless you're a murdering psychopath, which I doubt you are. With this battle, it's Daenerys and the Dothraki versus Jaime and Bronn, right? And I think most people like Daenerys, most people like the Dothraki, most people also like Jaime and Bronn. And so because you really don't want either side to win or lose, that creates so much more tension. And it was just like, throughout the entire fight scene, I really was at the edge of my seat. I really was gripping my fist. I didn't want either of the sides to die. I didn't want Jaime to die. I didn't want Daenerys to die either. And even, what's his face? Dickon Tarly. I mean, I love that they gave him that little humanizing moment, you know, just a small couple minutes of character moment when he says, you know, he didn't like to fight the Tyrells because they were his friend. And I also love that they acknowledged how ridiculously bad Dickon was as, you know, as a name. When Bronn started laughing, I felt exactly like Bronn. I mean, what kind of an idiot names his son Dickon? You just don't do it. And I guess the reason I like this battle more is it's more effective in bringing out emotions. It's just so much more intense. It may not be as impressive in terms of filmmaking because, you know, there isn't that sort of incredible long take scene, but there is a little bit of a long take with Bronn in this bit. But it's just, you know, we've never really seen Daenerys' dragon Drogon really fighting a proper battle before, you know, and so it was really incredible. And seeing Jaime going, you know, for that last spear at the end and just charging up at Drogon, it's like something that you would never expect would happen in Game of Thrones. Like, if someone started watching Game of Thrones Season 1, Episode 1 right now, and you told them that in 7 seasons, Jaime Lannister with one hand would be charging at Daenerys Targaryen, pulling out a spear from her big, like, I don't even know how big dragon, like, that's really hard to imagine. And like, I feel like this battle is something that you have to see to truly believe. And that is something that I really love and respect. And I just love this episode. I really do love this episode, guys. So that's my thoughts on this episode, Spoils of War. Thank you as always, guys, for watching. Thank you.